Dude, I don't know what to say other than I am tired of people hating on my favorite Dragon Ball Z game ever made. Burst Limit has an extremely bad rap, and one I generally agree with. It's got a lot of negatives. It has an incredibly tiny roster, there's almost no stages, and it was released after a Dragon Ball Z game with almost 100 characters, only for this to have a dwindling 21, and it stops right at the Cell Saga. It does have a few what-if chapters regarding Bardock and Broly, but it's pretty minor in the grand scheme of things. And for the final quick negative I'll go to are the drama pieces. Drama pieces are cutscenes that will interrupt the fight that add a certain effect to the match, and are activated with highly specific instances. And they're bad. They absolutely destroy the flow of a match. Please, I beg you, don't play with them when fighting another human opponent.
Just like that Earthling? That Earthling's name.
This game has been bashed by the greater community at large, especially on YouTube, so I'm not gonna go in depth on why people hate this game so much. I'm here to show you what makes this game so special, at least to me. The combat in Burst Limit is pretty unique, like backshots doing extra damage than normal. It gets rid of the charging mechanic in every other Dragon Ball Z game and has your ki regenerate automatically. Yeah, I know. Dragon Ball Z is known for its trademark screams and spending 3 episodes straight of a character charging their mega super duper energy attack. Kinda wish they would have kept the charging for this game. Certain moves will build ki, and very few moves actually drain your ki. Your light attacks are called Rush, and your heavy attacks are called Smash. This is important for later, I promise. You have your basic guard button that also gives you access to other defensive mechanics, and a ki button for your ki attacks and ki related mechanics. Oddly enough, this game lets you use super moves at the cost of 0 ki. And if you're wondering if this makes it easy to spam super moves, well, the game is designed to make it insanely easy to avoid these attacks in neutral, and give you a big punish combo for very little resources. And finally, we have your aura button, which is the main tool that consumes your ki. Holding down the aura button as you do a super turns into an EX super move. Not only do you have to manage your ki in this game, but there's a fatigue meter here. Before I explain the importance of managing your fatigue, here's some tidbit about character stats in relation to your ki. Before a fight begins, you have access to several different ultimate attacks you may choose from. As you can see here, different ultimates have varying lengths of meter before you can access them, a la Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. While you'd probably believe that an ultimate that requires more meter just means you'll do more damage, there's a whole other layer to them. You see, when you have access to your ultimate attack, your stats actually increase for as long as your ki meter is full. So while you may want a 5-bar ultimate to unleash a bigger damaging attack combo, you'll be spending the fight in a weaker state as you'll rarely be able to access your full powered stats. 3-metered ultimates are wonderful to get your character to their max stats quickly, and not only that, they tend to be drastically easier to combo into. This is important as we venture forth to the fatigue system. You build fatigue as you get hit, but you drastically increase your fatigue even more as you play around with the game's defensive mechanics. If you press the guard button as your opponent attacks come, you'll begin to evade, but be careful, it'll build your fatigue. You also have a defensive and offensive teleport. The defensive one leaves you in neutral, wonderful for teleporting behind an opponent zoning and starting a fat combo afterwards. The offensive one lets you vanish and quickly strike the opponent away, great for getting around their quick in-your-face offense. But, just like the evasion, it also builds your fatigue meter. And finally, we have the Mega Crash, the game's combo breaker. You can spend 1 bar of ki to break out of any combo that's not an ultimate attack, but there is a risk to this. Heavy attacks will armor through them, so be wary of throwing them out all willy-nilly. So, what happens when you do become fatigued? Well, you're stunned and lose access to all your transformations you've built up, returning you to your base form. Also, I forgot to write this in the script, but the normal evade takes no resources, but the teleports take about 1 bar. Oh no! So is there any way to prevent my character from being fatigued while still using my defensive options? Well, yes there is. There are mechanics designed specifically to reduce your fatigue in this game. First, the easy one is a transformation. canon to the show, only certain characters can transform. You need a full stock of ki to activate this. Another reason to pick a 3-bar ultimate. Easy access to your transformation to reduce your fatigue. But transformations also buff up your character's stats and may also slightly alter their movesets and special moves. Another mechanic is called Aura Spark, where you enter a heightened state with boosted stats, unlimited ki temporarily, which will eventually start to drain slowly, and also access to instant teleports whenever you want. There's also a cool little mechanic that whenever you knock your opponent back while in Aura Spark, you can initiate a mashing sequence where you both have to struggle in a little mini game to alter how much damage is done. It also moves you from the ground to the air, which also alters how the mechanics of the game works to a small but important degree. When in Aura Spark, you have unlimited ki before it starts to drain. This lets you combine ki consuming attacks with your ultimate. A bigger explanation of this mechanic in a later section of the video. Trust me, it'll be my favorite part of explaining the game mechanics. If you activate an aura teleport during this, your ki will immediately begin to drain. The only advantage to having a level 5 super here is that your aura spark will last a lot longer and let you drain out more fatigue than normal. And if you're resourceful, you can activate Aura Spark to drain a bit of fatigue, and before your ki begins to drain, activate a transformation to drain even more fatigue super easily. Really quickly, if you hold down the Aura button, you will rapidly consume ki while being invulnerable to all your opponent's strikes and ki attacks. If you push the heavy button while in Aura, you get a heavy smash at the cost of 1 bar. This move will have armor and crush your opponent's guard, putting them in a crumple state. And if this sounds familiar to another fighting game, it's because it is. Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit was developed by Dimps right before they were hired by Capcom to develop Street Fighter 4. Heavy Smash is basically the prototype to focus attacks / saving attack. The name changes depending on region you are in, just in case you didn't know. And they both share a similar trait. You can cancel out of them. Now for the juiciest part of this video. Guard cancelling. In this game, your smash attack, ki attack, and certain supers are chargeable, some of which will even give you a guard crush property. But during a charge, you can press the guard button to cancel the animation of your attack. So you can go from your rush, cancel into a charge heavy to try and break their guard, but if they see that huge flash of light, they can sidestep. So what can you do as the attacker? Simply cancel the charge of your heavy attack into a guard and do whatever you want afterwards. Continue with more rush attacks? Be my guest. Want to get a throw on them? Why not? Just like a conventional fighting game, all attacks can be cancelled into an attack of a higher priority. Rushes can be cancelled into heavies, ki, super attacks, heavy smashes, and heavies can cancel upwards in the same chain, and so can ki attacks. But if you were paying attention, you might have noticed a certain type of move you can't cancel into, and that's the ultimate attacks. But there is a loophole. You can cancel any attack into a cancelable move and use the cancel of that attack into whatever, including an ultimate attack. But ultimate attacks take so much more time to start up. Whatever possibly could I do? Well, remember the heavy smash attack that leaves the opponent stunned for a prolonged period of time? We're gonna combo into that, cancel it into a chargeable super move, and cancel the super move, and go right into our ultimate. But remember, heavy smash costs 1 bar, so you have to be an Aura Spark beforehand with its unlimited ki feature to have enough resources to do this sort of combo into your devastating ultimate attack. Alright, before we close off this video, I like to briefly mention that combos will work differently depending on if you're on the ground or in the air. If you do Goku's back smash smash and cancel the third hit, it'll put your opponent into a juggle state as they bounce off of the ground. If you do the same string while floating, there's no ground to bounce them on, so it doesn't put them in the same juggle state in the first place, giving you absolute freedom to continue with whatever combo you please. Alright, I'm feeling this video is a little too drawn out right now. I wasn't really gonna deep dive into things like pursuit attacks, which is another small mechanic that lets you teleport and smash the opponent at the cost of 1 bar. And of course, having more ki meter means more pursuit attacks, basically. But I just want to end the video by saying, despite the game's many shortcomings, its strengths really allow for an incredibly fast-paced Dragon Ball Z game, and I think it should be celebrated for that. There are lots of other Dragon Ball Z games I'd hope to tackle in the future, like Super Dragon Ball Z. No, not the anime, but the PlayStation 2/arcade game made by old Street Fighter developers, and the love letter on Mugen, also known as Hyper Dragon Ball Z. Alright, see ya, and take care.
You did it, Gohan!